Huzzah, the Redneck Crusader. I don't know if I'm gonna switch the name of that. Y'all tell me in the comments below if I should embrace my little southern tone of voice I like doing so much for these videos. But huzzah, welcome back. I got a fresh story to tell y'all right now. I'm telling you right here, right now. So what's going on is, as most of y'all know, I work in retail, you know, a terrible retail place and everything. And at this local store that we have, we like to get a few thieves. Now, what they don't know is that we actually care in these small towns and local stuffs about thieves. We don't want them. They're bad. They're terrible. It makes prices goes up when people steal stuff. Now, legit, it actually does. And so this is the story of how I embarrassed a thief in front of his date that stole just a couple items, like just two stupid items. Like, what's wrong with you? How dare you? Anyways, to the point, a couple of weeks ago, I tell you what, my co-worker caught a couple of young teenagers to young adults stealing a couple items, and they pulled the stuff out of their pockets and showed her. She says, okay, I'm gonna let you off with the warning. She let them off with a warning, said, don't come in here and steal and everything. We don't like it, we hate it. I'm gonna jump. There we go. And well, she gave him a warning. Oh, I died right there. She gave him a warning and told him not to come back to steal anymore. So time passes long after showing me. I'm right there doing my duties work on my shift, I tell you what, son. And apparently one of the similar people came out of nowhere and just hit the little self-checkout. And what he don't know when he's hitting the self-checkout, I tell you, there's a big old camera right there looking at you on your face, recording you this entire time. So you need to smile every time you're recording. And so right there and then, ladies and gentlemen, that I caught him looking around when he didn't stick his card in, and then just grabbing random things. Two items. He grabbed two random items, looked around, tried to pretend to stick it into a bag, and then didn't even do anything else after that, and just grabbed the stuff and walked away without paying for it. And well, before I can go get him, because at first I thought it was a misunderstanding, you see, because he left out the door, and I thought it was a misunderstanding, like his card didn't go through or anything like that. Well, I went and looked at the footage. Sure enough, that's what he did. This witchy-ditchy lug nut, we're gonna call him Chuck and everything. He looks like one of them little rich folk Chuck type people. I tell you what, Chuck did not do his civic duty of paying for the goods that he wanted. And it was just two little items, two pieces of candy and everything and crackers. And did not want to pay for them. And yet he had money for gas money because he drove out here in a big fancy car. Big little fancy car. Now when I say fancy car, I think all cars are fancy. That's not a big old Ford pickup truck with dents in the back hauling your mama out to the store and everything and all that. But with that said, he goes out and leaves. Well, I make a police report, had the police come down. They took the video and everything else. And so it may have been the last that we saw of this Chuck fella, I tell you what. Now I'm telling you, I'm keeping all names fake and everything in this story because for legal reasons, don't want to give out the actual descriptions and everything and where the places I work legally and stuff like that. Well, some time passes, and just the other night, Chuck come back in the store. He didn't think I would notice him. He goes and actually pays for his stuff the first time, but I already have a charge placed against him, and I can get him for criminal trespassing now. Well, he goes out the door, right, and see, and as he's going to his car, he's right there just sitting in this car for a while, and I'm like, why is he just sitting in the parking lot? Like, what's wrong with you? You don't need to be sitting in the parking lot for crying out loud. And I wanted to make sure it was him, so I go back and forth and look at the old footage and look at the picture and everything, and sure enough, it was him. And he had plenty of time to leave before I could call the cops or say anything. So I go out there and I tell him to roll the window down to his vehicle. He rolls the window down his vehicle. Sure enough, this boy's right there sitting down with some fancy sushi with a date. Like, no joke, he has a lady friend in this car having some sushi. I am not joking with you. Look at this little Minecraft here. I am not joking with you. He's in the car having sushi, fancy sushi from some fancy restaurant or something like that. It might not have been that fancy, but fancy to me, I'll tell you right there. Having a date in the middle of a retail store parking lot. Boy, you have a fancy car, you have a fancy everything, you have money, and you want to bring your date to a daggum parking lot. What is wrong with you? Why didn't you not eat in the restaurant and get to know this lady friend? Like, what is wrong with you? And sure enough, I show him his picture, right? And his jaw kind of drops. He goes, oh. I'm like, yeah, Chuck. We got you on camera stealing things. What is wrong with you, Chuck? You don't need to be doing that. We don't take thieving lightly. And as I'm saying all this to Mr. Chuck, that is, whatever his name is, I'm just calling him that, you know, legal reason. His lady friend, well, let's just say her jaw drops. She was shocked that he did that and everything else. And so I say, listen here, I can call the cops right now, Chuck, and get you for criminal trespassing. You better not ever come back to this store in this town, ever. Again, I said in a stern voice. Because I can call them right now because the police are looking for you with a charge of theft of property from this store. I tell you what, son, man, there's a lot of idiots out there. And so he hurries up and turns his car on and leaves. And he zooms out of here with his fancy little silver sports car, whatever it was, color was, pink, blue, I don't remember. And everything, but there's a look on his face like he was angry and jaw dropped all at the same time, thinking he wouldn't have got caught. And I'm like, you just a young idiot, you know better. How dumb can you be doing something like that? I tell you what. And it was just hilarious to see that his date was just pure embarrassed at him about thieving and everything else. I think she was a bit more embarrassed about being in the parking lot for a date, the way it seems. And I'm like, that is just stupid. Like, I understand we live down here in the deep south and everything, but at least take the girl out fancy to someplace else. Go to the fair, for crying out loud. Go to some place and everything. Eat inside. If you're gonna eat some fast food, like, don't eat in the daggum parking lot. Go home, enjoy some Netflix and chill or something, like whatever they say. Is that what they say these days? I don't know. I'm goofing the crazy. I'm old-fashioned. I want to take you to Olive Garden and serenade you with that fancy little Italian stuff. That's what I do. That's what the rednecks do down here and everything. I'm allowed to say that because I am one, and I will go on a great crusade. But long story short, ladies and gentlemen, do not steal, especially at a retail place or anything like that. It's like, come on, you really gonna go take your date? And that's the other list right here. Do not take your date to a parking lot to enjoy each other's company and everything and eat sushi. Like, you go into the local Walmart parking lot, what's wrong with you? Like, you imagine you go to a Walmart or whatever the other place retails is and just sitting there chatting up, for crying out loud. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you, sir? You do not do that. And everything. And do not steal, because it hurts the local business. It makes private business, or not private business, but it makes the prices go up. There we go. I was getting tongue twisted. But it makes the prices go up on all of those types of things, and I've seen it done before, and it's going to be hard to afford things when you do something like that. So how stupid can you be? Imagine if you buy a piece of candy, right, and it's like $1 candy or whatever. You steal that. You keep coming and steal that, and the inventory of that specific store gets bad. Well, that specific item is either going to get discontinued or it's going to get raised in prices. And that means other people cannot afford it, even though they want to. And I'm telling you what, this guy that stole, he had money. He had money to go out and get fancy sushi. He had money to literally go out and get gas for his car. And we know that the prices of gas here in America is way too daggum high, but yet you able to afford that. Why can't you afford a couple of dollars of candy and other stuff? Do not steal, ladies and gentlemen. That's the moral of the story. And do not bring your date to a parking lot, for crying out loud, son. Because I'm going to beat you like this robot right here. I'll beat you right now and everything. Now, I do not know if the police or anybody got this fella yet and everything, got him with a misdemeanor charge, but that's what we're pressing charges with him and everything. Good old Chuck, whatever his name is. Chuck's just a bad person. He's a snotty rich folk and everything. We don't need those types of people. It's okay if you're rich, but just don't be snotty and everything. I'm like, good Lord, you think you entitled to just a piece of candy because no one else could afford that daggum thing? You do, making me get tongue twisted telling this story. But it was still just hilarious, ladies and gentlemen, just to see his face about his date. He was all jaw-dropped and everything when I went out there and confronted him. So, there you go. Now, Chuck's probably never going to show up to this local store again, and I don't think he should. Ever again. So, that's basically the end of my story, telling you the juicy details of how I embarrassed a rich folk thief in front of his date. I think she was more embarrassed by taking or going to a parking lot, dare I say, for a date, for crying out loud. I tell you what, John, that was one of the most stupidest, goofiest things I've ever seen. Well, that's all the time I got for my little story. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. You guys like, comment, subscribe, and tell me if I should change the name of the channel, and should I use this voice more often for our story time. I just wanted to tell that story, and it was just hilarious. It keeps making me laughing all the time. There's cameras everywhere in them stories, so they're gonna catch you one way or another, son, and they're gonna give you a misdemeanor charge, and then when you come back next time, they're gonna throw the book at you, because you're gonna get a criminal trespassing with that law, however it is between states. So remember that, ladies and gentlemen. You do not have to steal. There's always another way to do stuff and everything. I know you can do it. There's different ways, different opportunities to do it. Don't steal. Stay in school, don't do drugs, stuff like that. And as always, I'll see you in the next crusade, however, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things. Realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up. Let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough.